While learning a new language, there is always room for improvement. But when are you good enough in a foreign language? Once you understand the spoken language and make yourself understood, you will need to find someone to critique your construction, like a native speaker, a teacher, or a tutor. If it is possible, find someone who is both honest and kind. If you find a tutor who is unkind, you will end up hating yourself for every little mistake. And you will have to make many of them. So kindness is very important. Being good enough, however, really depends on what you plan to do with your language abilities. When you're learning a new language, you may have that feeling of never being good enough at it. And I'm sure I wasn't the only one. It's a feeling of never being satisfied with your own skills and abilities to communicate the way you want to. As learners, we are our own biggest critics, always focusing on all of our mistakes. And the fear of being ashamed in front of others could be very overwhelming. When I listen to native speakers, I used to think, wow, I can't speak like that. But why was I comparing myself with a native speaker? First tip, don't focus on things like that. You have to be able to speak with them, not like them. The real purpose of learning a language is to be able to communicate, connect, and talk with other people. When I moved to the United States a few years ago, my first conversations were such a mess. I felt like I couldn't use the grammar and the words that I learned at the language school. My listening skills, they were horrible as well. It was really frustrating not being able to understand a person speaking to me. Not to mention many people speaking at the same time. It was very embarrassing. But as time passed by, I kept attending to classes, working on my communication skills, listening to the radio while driving the car, watching TV during the night. I was so immersed in their culture that eventually it was getting easier to understand people and make myself clear. So look at the process you have made, because your ability to speak a language is about who you are. And the fact that you don't sound exactly like a native, it doesn't necessarily mean that you cannot speak the same language. Marina Pascal says that English is not an art to be mastered. It's a tool to get results. When we're studying a foreign language, many of us approach it with fear. But actually, we can benefit if we shift our focus and worry less about getting it right. How well somebody communicates in a new language has very little to do with the language level, and a lot more to do with their attitude. Pascal believes that speaking a language is not like an exam at school, where a tiny spelling or grammar mistake would end up in a big red X from your teacher. In real life, small mistakes are not so important. What really matters is whether you're able to make yourself understood by others. So, if you want to speak English with great confidence, don't focus on yourself. Focus on the other person you're talking to and the result you want to achieve. According to Stephen Krashen, when we get involved in a conversation, what really counts in speaking is not what you say, but what the other person says to you. If you focus on the person you're talking to and the result you want to get, you will have an effective conversation no matter your level. With a very low level of English, but the right attitude, amazing things can be achieved. English is a tool to play around in order to get a result. It's a means to an end. So if you were wondering if you're good enough, remember, it's not about proficiency. It's all about attitude. Thank you.